Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here at the Asta River Cruise Expo on Tauck Savor. And as we usually do, we talk to all the top executives of the major river cruise lines. And I'm here with Steve Spivak, who is the Vice President of Sales, Global Sales and Reservations for Tauck. And Steve gave a presentation earlier today, and we're going to get an update on what's going on with Tauck on the river. And you'll find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Steve, great to see you.
Great to see you as always, James. Good to be back here at Asta River Expo together.
Yeah, we seem to be doing that every year. We do an interview with you here, and it's always great to catch up and see what's going on. And let's talk about it. You know, Tauck is celebrating 100 years this year, and you're doing a lot of interesting things. Well, what are you doing on the rivers to really celebrate that?
You know, on the rivers this year, we're sharing a fun activity with our guests where we're taking them back to 1925 with a little Prohibition-era speakeasy party.
Ah, yeah, I love that trend. The speakeasies, now that we can drink, we're still going back to the speakeasies, right?
There's one thing about our guests. They love to have a good time, and we love to share that with them. And there's also some unique and fun gift items that we're sharing with our guests in advance of their travels. A little keepsake box that has some beautiful luggage tags inside, but the box itself is a sort of a collage of all the brochures from every generation of Tauck, going back to the early 30s and into the 60s and 70s and up till today. And so it's a nice touch for our guests to help commemorate our 100th with them.
So I guess they come in period costume, right?
Everybody comes in period costume. Fortunately, most of our guests weren't around in the 1920s.
I hope that, because except they're very active. That's what I guess.
That's right.
Now let's talk a little bit about the rivers, and that's why we're here. I mean, so how many ships are in Tauck's fleet today?
So today it's 9, but we are in growth mode. So we are excited.
You announced 2 new ones, and talk first of all, where are you going now? I mean, what are the rivers that you've sailed?
So we're on all the major rivers of Europe. So we're on the Danube, the Rhine, the Rhone, the Seine, the Douro. And we sail the Rhine, the Main-Danube Canal. So all the major rivers Tauck covers, and our plan is really to expand our coverage on those existing rivers. I think one of the biggest challenges that we've had for our guests and for travel advisors is capacity.
Right.
You know, there's been so much demand for Tauck river cruising and the unique style of cruising that we offer, that adding more capacity to meet the demand is really our goal at this point.
And that's what you're doing. You got 2 more ships coming online, and they are both this year or next year, I think.
2026,
okay.
And both in France. The first 2 ships that we're bringing on board will be in France, one on the Rhone, one on the Seine, and they are really going to be a continuation of the legacy of Tauck river cruising. You know, small is big.
Yeah, well, the Seine is going to be a small ship because they only sail small ships, and even the other ship, and one is called, what are the names of them?
So the ship on the Seine will be the Serene, and the ship on the Rhone will be Lumiere.
Okay.
And you know, the Seine is a serene river, so easy flowing, tranquil, and so we wanted the ship to sort of fit that philosophy. And Lyon, where the Lumiere will be based, is the city of lights.
Absolutely.
And so the idea of being uplifting and that idea of inspiring fits in well with the Lumiere name.
And I actually recently cruised the Rhone, and I love the Rhone. It's a great cruise, and I love the Seine. Actually, you know, most people, we start with the Rhine and the Danube, and we're on the Rhine here in Vienna, and they're great rivers. But boy, those French rivers have something to go for them as well.
The French rivers have everything. And most of the year, the weather is absolutely spectacular.
Sure.
And so, you know, part of the vision of these new ships, you know, following on from our newest ship before these 2, the Andarina in Portugal, is creating more of an outdoor experience for our guests. So a much more complete sun deck experience with a larger pool and a beautiful lounge area, restaurant and bar on the top deck.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, our guests really want to be outdoors. Wellness and being outdoors is a huge part of travel to
Well,
these
you reminded
areas.
me, I was at the christening of the End Arena, which was really lovely, and that was before COVID, I think.
Yeah, you were, and I was not.
You were
So
not.
yeah, tell
I guess
me
I
all
took
about it.
I take your spot there.
You do that all the time, but yeah, these ships will be absolutely stunning, and the rivers in France offer everything: the art, the history, the culture, and the food. The food and the wine. It can't be beat. It can't be beat. So
Now you mentioned during the general session, you mentioned that you love the hardware, but you really at Tauck focus on the experience. And that's what you deliver, different experiences on these that maybe some of the other folks don't. Give a few examples of what those experiences are that you offer off of your river ships.
sure, and you're right on point, James. The hardware, especially with so much new hardware coming on the rivers, the hardware, I think people start to sort of glaze over a little bit when you start talking about ships. And for us, the ships are a luxury hotel that allows for the fullest enjoyment of the destination, which is really what we specialize in. Great example, and I'll use the Seine, since we have a new ship coming there. When we go to Giverny, when we go to Monet's estate, we go before it opens to the public. And what that means is when we arrive and you take those first few steps through the gates and you first see the lily pond, you're seeing it exactly as it appears in the painting.
In the painting, okay, so yeah.
Painting. And it's in the morning.
Yeah.
And in the morning, there's a certain light. And there's a certain sort of haze that's coming down over the lily pond. And what you're looking at is exactly what you saw in the painting.
Yeah, because he got up and painted it.
That's it. And so you see the Japanese bridge, and you're going. It's like I'm in a dream.
Yeah.
And there's no hundreds of people on the bridge. There's no selfie sticks. And as we're leaving Giverny, after a couple of hours of exploring the estate, all the coaches for all the other river cruise lines are waiting in the parking lot for Tauck to leave.
Well, you definitely deliver. I've been on Tauck cruises before, and you always have something or several things that are very different. I remember we went to a castle and we were hosted by a count once here. Yeah. I think I was on Danube, actually. Well, that was one of the ones on Danube. It's just an amazing, the different kind of experiences you get, because you are really at heart a tour operator who delivers great experiences.
Yeah, and that's why river cruising is such a great fit for what we've always been, and to help us bring it to a new market and a new customer.
Now, you just actually got finished with a session for travel advisors here. Any new programs for travel advisors to teach them more about river cruising?
Yeah, so we are continuing to expand our Tauck Academy with a dedicated River Tauck Academy. Mm-hmm. We held our first Tauck River Academy last October with a select group of 20 advisors on one of our river ships. Mm-hmm. And this is really a continuing on the fully immersive content of Academy, but focused on how you grow your Tauck River business. Okay. And more and more, as river becomes a bigger part of our portfolio, we are creating opportunities for advisors to become more immersed in the why Tauck and how Tauck on river. So new tools for advisors to grow their Tauck River business, like the Approach Guides tool, and new opportunities for learning about Tauck River and how to differentiate it from all the other brands out there.
And there are a lot, and that's why people come to this River Cruise Expo.
Absolutely. There are so many. There's a river brand for everyone. And I think it's so important, look, we are competitors, but I'm proud, and I think Tauck is proud to be a part of this great community of river cruising operators, because they're all good. Yeah, they're all good.
As you said, there's a place for everyone, and that was at least my next question of, this River Cruise Expo has become so important for river cruising. I remember the first year they had it, I ran into you in an elevator. You weren't entirely committed to
That's
yet, but
it.
you were checking it out, and then all of a sudden the next year you were here, and I guess you've been here the last 3 years. Right?
And we will continue to be here. First of all, ASTA as an advocacy organization for the travel advisor, but also as a support organization for the supplier, has done a wonderful thing here. By bringing us together with a focus around river cruising, they've really helped to advance this product, this offering, and this style of travel. And for us, having new advisors gain an appreciation of Tauck, understand how they can fit it into what they offer their clients and why they should offer it to clients has been a huge win, especially coming out of COVID when we saw so many advisors leave the industry. So this opportunity to connect with new advisors, thanks to ASTA, has been a huge win for us.
So you're going to be back here in Amsterdam next year?
We will be back in Amsterdam next year. We are excited to be back in Amsterdam, and we hope we have some exciting opportunities for advisors to travel with us, to experience us during the expo, but also travel with us after the expo.
Fantastic. I'll probably see you before then, but I know I will.
Sure
but
I will.
That's another one. But yeah, it'll be great to see you here next year. Now, anything else you want to tell our 127,000 travel advisors about Tauck today, and specifically about river cruising?
The only thing I want to say to your 127,000 travel advisors is thank you. I want to say thank you. You know Tauck, you know what we stand for. You know that your clients who travel with Tauck come back and say, never want to travel any other way again, and they bring their friends, and that's great. But our 100th is as much about gratitude as it is about marking a milestone of achievement for a company. And without these 127,000 travel advisors supporting us for many of those 100 years, we likely wouldn't be here today. So thank you. Thank you for everything.
Well, Steve, thank you for spending some time with us today to talk about river cruising. We could talk about other parts of your company, but we'll save that for another day. Where should travel advisors go to learn more about Tauck and Tauck river cruises?
So best place to go is tauck.com to Advisor Connect. And sign up for Advisor Connect, because that's where we house all of our content, all of our advisor resources, all of our marketing tools. That is just a great place to learn how to grow your Tauck business. It's also where you'll find our online training program, which is a great start.
Fantastic. Well, Steve, again, the music is starting. We're in the lounge, so I guess we got to go get a beer or something after this, right?
I feel like I just won an Academy Award and I went on too long.
Steve, again, thank you. And here I am at ASTA River Cruise Expo again, and this is Insider Travel Report.